Okay, so I've been doing a lot more gravel riding lately on the Cannondale Topstone. Really enjoying it, having a nice time. But because I'm a bit of a gravel newbie, I've basically just transferred my road shoes and pedals across to this bike. Now there's a lot of pros and cons about doing that. The pros are that it's simple, easy, no expense. They're lighter. The pedals, generally speaking, are lighter and the shoes are lighter. But the downside is that it's a little bit hard to clip out. They're very secure, so if you want to dab a foot down when you're going around a bend, it's not so easy. And when you do have to get off the bike, you're going to damage your expensive road shoes. So, thinking about a solution as to how I could improve all this, and in some Black Friday sales, I managed to snaffle these S-Works Recon gravel shoes, which were half price, and they are actually only a little bit heavier than the Shimano S-Fires, or the S-Works road shoe is a similar weight as well. A little bit extra because of these off-road pieces here, but basically it's the same shoe as the normal S-Works. The advantage here is that you can obviously walk off-road and not really damage them too much, but generally the pedals are heavier. But I think I may have found a solution, because these pedals here are Magped's specific gravel pedal, and because they have a very new design, which is basically just a magnet holding your foot in, they're very simple and light, and these are actually lighter than the Dura-Race pedals. So all in all, there's no real weight penalty here. Now the question is, how well do these work? I don't know. I'm going to try them out and let you know. Well, initial thoughts, they seem to work. You have to kind of get them in the right place to get the proper kind of retention, because initially they felt like they weren't sticking strong enough, but once you get your foot in the right position, then the strength of the magnet is actually quite good. I can pull up, I can pedal hard just pulling up. It's not a sprint or anything, but they seem quite secure, and your feet can actually move around quite a bit. There's quite a lot of, I suppose you would call it float. It's not really float in the normal sense of the word, but you've got quite a lot of freedom to twist your foot, change a little bit the position. Now that could be a problem if you're very used to one specific position like I am on the road bike, that maybe your knees won't like changing slightly the position all the time. But getting it out is easy. I think I need a bit of practice to get them back in the right spot. They do have these little locator tabs which you can put on top, which helps get the exact right spot, so I might try those. But so far, yeah, I mean, they definitely work. Needs a little bit more mileage though. Coffee, cake, 100k, 200k. Okay, so just to show you how these pedals work, they have just a basic flat metal plate on the sole of the shoe that is sitting a little bit inside those buffer pads, and you just come down and clunk in like that, and you can see, you have to kind of get the position about right, because if not, I mean, you wiggle your foot around and then you kind of get it, it's a little bit tight, but just by hand, but you wiggle your foot and get it in the right spot. Now that so far I find slightly strange, so what I may try now is to just put this locator pad on here, because what happens with that is you just bolt that on top of here like that, just sits there, and that then makes sure that the magnet is sitting in exactly that right spot. And I think that might be better, because then you're sure you're in the right place each time, rather than being in variable positions. I'd much rather, I think, feel like I'm in the right spot. So I'm going to put these on and give that a whirl. Okay, so there it is with the locator piece added on top, and Let's see if we can pop this on. Yeah, there we go. Is that in properly? Yes. And you can rotate. You can still rotate, but you can't go up and down or left and right in these planes like that. So that's actually a much better, more secure position, and you're going to be in that position every time. So I'm going to try riding with the right shoe with this on and the left one without, and see how they compare. You can see there's just a tiny gap between the shoe and the pedal there, which is just about right. And I think that should be an improvement. So one other important point is that this is the largest, strongest magnet that they do in their range. If you look at the MTB pedals, they have a smaller magnet, but it's two-sided. So the strength that you're getting from those magnets on MTB pedals is significantly less. Now, I would say this is about as weak as I would like it, because the strength is there, but personally I would like it to be a little bit stronger. But that's kind of because I'm coming from a road background, I think, and I'm very used to being securely clipped into Dura-Ace pedals. So, you know, obviously you need to be able to get them on and off quickly, just to dab your foot down when you're on gravel and stuff. So yeah, it swings and roundabouts. Do you want extra security of an even stronger magnet, or do you want to be able to get unclipped quickly? And I think it very much depends where you're coming from. Are you a mountain biker going into gravel? Then I would imagine these would feel good and fine and not a problem with the strength at all. If you're coming from a road bike background, you might feel a little bit insecurely clipped in at first, perhaps, until you get used to it. And bear in mind, you know, I'm not a big guy. I'm 65 kilos. I don't make a massive amount of power unless I'm on a really good day. And so, you know, I think if you're a big guy pulling up hard, you might find these a little bit weak. But yeah, I need to ride them a bit more and get a feel for it. But in any case, this is the strongest magnet that they do. Right, so I tried out the right pedal with the locator on it, and that's much better. Really, now it feels very secure. Your foot's planted. You can feel it's exactly where it wants to be, and it also feels a lot more secure. It can't slip forward or back, because I did have a couple of forward slips as I pushed hard on the downstroke. So that's a lot better. So I've now got it on both, so it feels really good now. Another thing I just realized and wanted to point out was that, you know, these are single-sided pedals, just like Dura-Ace or the other road pedals, as opposed to their mountain bike ones, which are double-sided. So, you know, if you're really sort of aggressive mountain bike styly kind of gravel rider, then you might miss that, not having two sides, because you can't quickly just slam your foot back on the pedal. You have to kind of flick it around a little bit to make sure it's on the right side, and then you can get in. So again, it's just a compromise between, you know, the mountain bike ease of riding it, or the road bike efficiency of power transfer. And you have to kind of choose exactly where you want to be in between those two. So I just made a delivery down to one of these boats, a very nice one down the end. And yeah, now I've been riding around a little bit like this. It's kind of a double-edged sword, because now I've got better security and my foot is more held more securely in the pedal. It's now a little bit more difficult to get the foot out, and a little bit more difficult to find the position to get it back in as well. So it's kind of a compromise. You have to kind of toss up which you want. Do you want ease to getting in, or do you want security when you're in? And it's a blend of the two that you have to kind of get. And I think the more that I use these, the more I'll get used to the kind of very different way of getting in and out that compared to SPD SL pedals like Dura-Ace or Tegra. It's a different motion, and I need to learn that. You know, you don't learn it overnight.
Yeah. 12% slope.
Okay, Okay, so to get your foot in, you just have to flip the pedal over to the right face like this, and then much the same as an SPDSL, just locate your foot in the right place and wait till you hear a bit of a click like that, and that's now in. And then to get it out, the instructions tell you to move your knee out to the left like that and pull up a bit, and out it comes. But it's a little bit of an acquired art, so I'm still working on that. And for some reason the right hand pedal is that much harder to engage. I'm not sure why. I need to look at it and just see if I've set it up completely properly. But it's a little bit more tricky. It doesn't want to go in quite as nicely as the left, so I'll come back to you on that one. So just a final word on these shoes while we're at it. They seem pretty good actually. I was initially a little bit concerned that the sides were fairly stiff, which is not necessarily what you want when you're running across stones and things. And the S-Works in the past have troubled me a little bit because they're quite hard around these edges, and it can dig into your heel bone here, on both sides actually, sort of here and here. But these ones seem okay actually. They're actually pretty comfortable, in fact more so than any of my road shoes so far, and haven't even really worn in that much yet. So they are looking pretty promising.